Okay, when I say you're under pressure, that means bills are due, deadlines are due, time is short. All these things putting pressure on your life to where you feel suffocated. You can't move. You have no room to move because your next immediate task is what? I got to get that bill paid, or I got to meet that deadline, or I got to do this, whatever it is that's causing you that pressure. You must sacrifice a standard of living, so to speak. Sacrifice time, sacrifice entertainment, sacrifice the good feeling and good vibes. Sacrifice keeping up with whatever social media is telling you what you should be doing to live a, quote, produced life on social media. You must ignore all that and stack your cash. That's it. Now, some of y'all have a challenge, spending issue. You stack cash, you spend it. You know how to get the money, but then you spend it. You know how to get the money, you build it, and then you blow it off on, a car. That's just playing Russian roulette with your future. Because now what? You're starting back over again with an asset that doesn't really help you. Stack the cash, put it away. Don't buy the latest meme coin. Don't fucking do Robinhood bullshit. Just stack the cash. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the End-to-End Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Yun Win, also known as Ninja or Prolific Ninja by my family and friends. And because you, my fans, are my family and friends, you can call me Ninja too. This is the End-to-End Podcast, the alpha to the omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, drive, success, self-improvement, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Back in the studio where I love to be connecting all the dots for y'all. You know, I have a favorite expression that the dots are all around us. It's up to you to connect them. And so here we are here today to try to help you connect those dots for you and your growth, and hopefully helping you live to your fullest controllable potential. Before I get into the topic of the program, if you're new to the show or if you've been listening for a while, I always start my program as I start my day. When I wake up, thank God, the universe, for an opportunity to hopefully be great and hopefully to inspire someone, just anybody, to live to their fullest controllable potential, consistent with the mission of this podcast, which is inspiring billions across the planet to live to their fullest controllable potential, because we know a lot of things are not in our control, but we want to control what we can. So we want you to live to your fullest potential based on what you can control. And to do that and to accomplish our mission, I need you. I need you to like, follow, comment, and share the show. And to all of you all who have been out there that have been liking, commenting, following, and sharing the show, thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart, because we can't accomplish our mission. We can't inspire people without your help. We have no sponsorships on the show. I'll pay for everything on my own dime, on my own time. And so there's a whole team here. I cut the checks to get this free content to you. And so we can't grow the show without you all. And so now we're in the hundreds of thousands of followers across all platforms, which I am grateful for. And that's how we've been expanding the show. And so the way this works is on a karmic exchange. If you find value in this episode or any other episode, that means you owe me a, quote, karmic debt. And to repay that debt, please do share the show. That's how we balance the scales of karma, which I believe in frequency, vibration. That's the entirety of the universe. And so to rebalance this, everything always balances back to zero. And so to rebalance this, please do share the show or follow any of the projects that I'm working on. So if you're new to this show, I'm a physician, also a lawyer, also a business guy. Have had a law practice in the Houston area for the last over 2 decades, helping thousands of clients, millions of dollars in various settlements through litigation and justice. And so you can go to westlooplaw.com or the West Loop Law on X. You can go to one of my portfolio companies, as I'm an investor in various companies, CuraConnector.com. That's a healthcare IT play. LegacyXToken.com, which is a crypto token utility play. And then also, most importantly, right now, we are helping over 1,000 cancer victims and clients and more on this chemical in the water called PFAS, which is the forever chemical. It doubles your risk of cancer the more you're exposed to it. So if you all know anybody out there with cancer or been affected by cancer, any family, please do send them to pfasinjuryattorney.com or PFAS lawyer on X. So that's the way we restore this karmic balance. I do not want you to owe me any type of karmic debt if you find value out of the show or any other episode. So please do share these projects or share the show, and that's how we restore it. So real quickly on this one, man. It's end of third quarter. We talked about, pivoting and the importance of keeping track and keeping score of your life to reach your goals of success. You got to do that. Here, I know many of you all might be struggling under the economy, under whatever, the inflation, cost of eggs, cost of fuel. Although prices are coming down, it's becoming more and more challenging to eke out a living in today's environment, just because of the way the economics works. I mean, the middle class has been decimated over the last, I want to say decade, on various policies, spending bills, all these other things. The importance here through all that, and I sympathize and empathize because, I was there too many years ago, okay? One thing we should focus on in order to try to get to our goals for a better financial secure life or success is you must initially, if you're having a challenge getting started or getting goals or getting out from underneath this pressure, you must focus all your effort on finding what? Breathing room. Okay? You must have breathing room in order to operate. Because if you don't have that breathing room, you're just constantly under pressure. And when you're constantly under pressure, what happens? You have fewer and fewer options. Okay, when I say you're under pressure, that means bills are due, deadlines are due, time is short, all these things. All these things putting pressure on your life to where you feel suffocated. You can't move. You have no room to move because your next immediate task is what? I got to get that bill paid, or I got to meet that deadline, or I got to do this, whatever it is that's causing you that pressure, okay? And so for those of you all starting out, and this applied to me too, and it applied to my parents as refugees from the Vietnam War, where, they had to start all over from zero. With four young boys. Okay? You have to primarily focus your initial efforts, time and energy on getting breathing room. And what that means is you just basically got to stack your bankroll. You got to bust ass as much as you can, as hard as you can, and sacrifice and save and save and save and save and save to give you breathing room financially. Okay? Because if you can't, or if you don't have that breathing room, all you're doing is looking for the next dollar to pay the bill. And that's not growth. That's actually playing catch up because you owe and you got to recover. You got to pay the debt. So a lot of you out there, spending time on, Sunday fun day with brunches, $100 tabs, $200 tabs, whatever the case may be, living on credit, living on whatever, that's not breathing room. Going out on the club, dinner and, whatever drinks, $300, boom, out the window. That's not breathing room. If you really want to get to that point of financial freedom and success, and you want to really get started on that path, you got to find yourself breathing room. That's it. Okay? You must sacrifice a standard of living, so to speak. Right? Sacrifice time. Sacrifice entertainment, sacrifice the good feeling and good vibes, sacrifice keeping up with whatever social media is telling you what you should be doing to live a, quote, produced life on social media. You must ignore all that and stack your cash. That's it. You need to stack your cash in order to give you that breathing room in order to explore, grow, and what? Fail again. You see, the problem is that if you don't have that breathing room, that first failure you take is lethal. You got to start zero. But if you stack that cash and give yourself breathing room, you can take a failure and keep going and still continue to grow without having to start back to zero. Obviously, we're not afraid to start back at zero, but that's not what you want. You can only start back to zero so many times before you feel deflated and you're like, fuck this, I guess it's not for me. But the bigger you stack that cash and give yourself breathing room, the more times you can accept these mini failures that are along the way to growth. And that's what you need to do. That's what my parents did in the 80s. They worked 3 or 4 jobs. I never saw them growing up. And that was a sacrifice. I understood that as a young child. They understood that as refugee parents, not in America, not even speaking English. Working 2 to 3 jobs each parent, tagging in, tagging out, watch the kids, this and that and the other, until they stacked up enough cash. I think it was like 10, 20 grand back then in the 80s. A lot of money back then in order to get a loan, start a business, and grow. Same thing with me in my law firm. People think I had it easy coming out as a doctor, lawyer, whatever. The reality is I turned down big 6-figure jobs to start on my own with zero. Bank betting on myself. Okay, but I had to stack in the early days so that I can spend later to grow even bigger. I'll give you an example. Imagine, now I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm actually in Vegas when this airs, okay? Big lawyer conference in Vegas. Probably like 3,000 lawyers hitting the town. Imagine going to Vegas with $100 in your pocket. That's it. And, in Vegas, not cheap. So you have, $25 table limits or minimum table bets. So you've got 4 bets to increase your stack or you're flat broke. So that's a little bit of pressure, right? But now imagine walking in with $10,000. Or let's do $1,000 for the sake of math. You walk in with $1,000 at $25 a hand. I think if the math is right, that gives you 400 hands or 40 hands to stack more money. So you're going a difference of 10x, 4 shots to hit it versus 40 shots to hit it. So that 40 hands allows you more times to lose in order to keep going to win. It's basically your bankroll. Okay, so if you're just starting out, you're working a 9-to-5 job, whatever it is, but you have bigger goals and aspirations. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to own your own business. You want to call your own shots. You must start by looking at stacking your bankroll and getting yourself breathing room. It's the same thing. Let's say, for example, you're hosting a party and you got to blow up balloons. Okay, follow me on this. The first time that balloon is out the package, what is it? It's hard to blow up. You got to put a lot of energy just to expand it because the rubber's fresh and, it's right off the factory, full of PFAS, I'm sure. But if you're blowing into the balloon, it takes a lot of effort to blow up that balloon the first time. Okay? So you can either do one of 2 things. You can build up your lung capacity to get more force into the balloon, which is self-improvement in real world, learning more skills, etc. Or you can blow the balloon up to its max capacity, let it deflate, blow it up again, let it deflate, blow it up again, let it deflate, and it takes less effort each subsequent time. That blowing it up and letting it deflate, that's building your bankroll. It's giving yourself more breathing room so that the 10th time you blow up the balloon is really easy, takes less force. Same idea here, because the more times you can stack your bankroll and get yourself breathing room, the more you get to more opportunities to blow up that balloon. Okay? So for this summer coming up, it's a fantastic time. More daylight hours, more opportunities. Get out there. Whatever it takes, start stacking your cash. Stack. Now, some of y'all have a challenge, spending issue. You stack cash, you spend it. You know how to get the money, but then you spend it. You know how to get the money, you build it, and then you blow it off on, I don't know, whatever, a car, the latest handbag, the latest shoes, whatever. You blow your bankroll. That's just playing Russian roulette with your future. The reality. Because now what? You're starting back over again with an asset that doesn't really help you. It's not even an asset. Because if you resell, you probably resell it at a lower value unless it's, a specific item. Right? Stack the cash, put it away. Don't buy the latest meme coin. Don't fucking do Robinhood bullshit. Just stack the cash. Cash is king when you're starting out. Cash is king when you're starting out so that you can deploy it in the right places. You can put it in areas where you can fail more often and still build. What's the other issue with getting yourself breathing room? When you give yourself more breathing room, when you have the cash available, you're no longer trading time for money. Okay? Now when you have breathing room, you have a little bit more time. And the more breathing room you have, the more time you have to what? Think, strategize. Think and strategize. You see, when you're under the gun, your next immediate thought is, I got to get paid somehow. You'll make bigger sacrifices to get that dollar to cover the pressure. But when you got breathing room, now you got time to really meditate, think, and strategize bigger picture, make bigger moves. You get to see the landscape from a higher view to know what moves you can make in this whole game theory thing, which I've talked about before. Moves, counter moves, counter moves, etc. But you don't have that luxury to think like that when you're constantly under pressure to pay a bill. It doesn't happen that way. Your mind is so, oh man, fuck, I got to get this issue off my back, that you don't have time to think and strategize about future moves. You're just trying to cover the bill. Right? And so the benefit of getting yourself breathing room is multifold. So instead of earning cash and spending it on whatever the fuck you want to spend it on, earn the cash, save the money, stack your cash, build the bankroll. Build the bankroll so that you have breathing room to make moves towards your goals. Okay, the more pressure you're under, the less likely you're going to hit it, because you just don't have time. You're buying yourself time to make moves strategically and functionally to grow and get you to the goals that you want. And that's pretty much it. You need to get yourself that breathing room, at least out the gate. Get you that bankroll out the gate. Because if you don't have it, then you're just thinking about the next dollar to get in the door to cover bills. And that is not growth. That is definitely not growth. So over this course of time, if you need help planning on how to get more breathing room, if you need help in getting this, how to start stacking your bankroll, reach out. We're here to support. We want to inspire people to get to their fullest controllable potential, because out there, I know everybody has a certain talent that is not being unleashed into the world to help other people. Because why? You have no breathing room to let it out. You're just worried about covering bills. So how can you express the gifts that you have if you're just worried about paying the next note that's due? You can't. You can't. So get out there, stack your cash, get yourself some breathing room so that you can start operating with the gifts and talents that you have to get to your goals, help other people, and just grow and expand. So with that, I want to thank you all for liking, commenting, following, sharing the show. Again, we do this on a karmic debt, okay? So if you learn anything about this show, stacking your cash and getting yourself breathing room, please do share the show. I do not want you to owe me a karmic debt for the information you've learned today or the benefit that you got out of the show or any other show. So please do share the show or visit any one of the projects I'm working on. WestLoopLaw.com, West, W-E-S-T, Loop, L-O-O-P, law.com, CuraConnector.com, C-U-R-A, connector.com, LegacyXToken.com, and most importantly, if you've been affected by cancer in any way or anybody you know, please send them to PFASinjuryattorney.com or PFAS Lawyer on X. We're trying to help tens of thousands of people with cancer potentially recover against companies that put PFAS, a forever chemical, in the water and expose them. So please do visit these properties, these digital properties. There's going to be more and more being put out from our side to you. Please do support all these efforts over the next several months. It's a very exciting time. I just wish I could clone myself to get more of this out there for you. But it will be coming, so please stay tuned to that. And, be great today, but be even more grateful. And I will look forward to bringing you another episode very, very soon.